And when I graduated from high school, I was finally included in college. I was a theater arts major. 3 years later, I decided to try stand-up comedy. And Norman Lear was in my audience at the second annual Media Access Awards. And 6 months later, I was cast on Facts of Life. And I am grateful for every person in my path who has opened a door or a window, allowing me to complete my dream that I had when I was a kid. And Norman told me way back in 1981, he said, "You know, kid, you're way before your time." And in my naivete, I thought he was talking about a couple years. I didn't know he was talking about a couple decades. And I just want to say that coming out of special ed, I have been around disability my whole life. I have seen spina bifida, cerebral palsy, muscular dystrophy, cancer, leukemia, AIDS. I've seen it all, people who are deaf. And I have to tell you that in my own experience in life, these aren't disabilities. The real disabilities in life are prejudice and hatred. Abuse, hypocrisy, greed, and despair. These are the real disabilities we all face in life. You know, the more we become aware of what the real disabilities are, the more we respect and honor and value all of us who have something to contribute in life to make it a little bit easier in a very hard life for all of us on this planet. And I ask you to recognize and respect the differences that we can all make to life. You know, to this day, I have a website. I get over 100 emails a week from parents of children with disabilities saying, "Thank you for being you. You give me hope. Thank you for Facts of Life. Thank you for your positive attitude." We need all the positive attitude we can get in today's time. We are being severely challenged. I ask you all to have a respect for the human condition, never be afraid to take another step forward, and never underestimate the power of the human spirit. Thank you. Thank you.
And now please welcome our next speaker, who has extensive civil rights experience in employment, housing, public accommodation, and education discrimination. She's a former Deputy Attorney General for Civil Rights for the California State Department of Justice and a tireless advocate for equality. The Director of Fair Employment and Housing for California, Phyllis Chang. Thank you, Phyllis.
I'm so proud to be here. Before I say anything else, I'm the mother of a PWD who went through special education, so I really can relate. Now, on to my official job. I direct the Department of Fair Employment and Housing, which is the largest state civil rights agency in the nation. Our mission is to protect Californians from employment, housing, public accommodation discrimination, and hate crimes on a variety of bases, including disability discrimination. The department enforces several laws. The Fair Employment and Housing Act, which is California's, actually one of the nation's oldest and broadest civil rights laws, is older than the federal Title VII law, is older than and broader than the ADA, and is older than the Federal Fair Housing Act. What we do is we investigate, conciliate, mediate, and prosecute violations of these laws. In the area of employment, everybody who files a lawsuit in California on employment discrimination must exhaust his or her administrative remedies in my department. So we have a record of every single complaint ever filed under our law in the past 50 years. In the last 12 years alone, there were 225,000 complaints filed. Annually, there are 17,000 complaints filed in my agency. And I'm going to just give you some statistics which may be of interest to you just within the last decade. Between fiscal year, of course we operate by fiscal year, from 96 to 97 to 06 and 07, the department records show that there was a total of 983 employment discrimination complaints filed against the entertainment media industry. That's almost 1,000 complaints, of which 214, or about 22%, alleged disability discrimination. This means that 1 out of 5 employment discrimination cases filed against this industry has to do with disability discrimination. That's of the people who filed. Now, during the past decade, disability and employment discrimination against the industry range from a low of 10.4% in 96-97 to a high of 39.6% in 2005-2006. Overall, while the number of employment discrimination complaints against the industry has fallen over time, they have in fact not fallen proportionally on the basis of disability discrimination. This record shows that, consistent with the pattern in the general workforce, employment discrimination on the basis of disability persists in this industry. I'm so glad that we're part of this campaign and that it's going to be launched in 2009 next year, because that will be the 50th anniversary of the Fair Employment and Housing Act, California State Civil Rights Law. As I say, that it's broader and more extensive than any of the federal laws. In fact, the 2008 amendments to the ADA, which was just mentioned by the supervisor, they're just catching up with California law right now. So let's make 2009, the 50th anniversary of our civil rights law, the time to make it a new day for PWDs in California. Thank you.